we began to work with fungus to develop as a biopesticide in the 70s. At that time, we began to isolate the first native fungus, since were reported since the beginning of the century, but we began to the first isolated by the 70s, and to import some of them, mainly from France, because we had, at least at that time, good relation with the Institut National de la Recherche Agronomique that developed biopesticides since many years ago. And we introduced from some strain of Bavaria from that country. At the same time, during this period, in the part of 80s decade, we did many research in the field for the control of different important pests. Mainly, I was remembering, mainly weevil. Is the banana black weevil, Cosmopolitis sordidus, is an important pest in our area, Cuba and other countries that produce bananas and plátano. Another weevil or group of weevil that attack citrus roots during the larval stage, and the adult attack the foliar part of the plant. And another weevil is aquatic rice weevil that attack rice, of course, and other that attack sweet potatoes. So since that time, we began to work and to have results, and then show the potential that have the fungus for the control of insect, because we began to develop the entomopathogenic fungi, not the antagonist that was after, in the 90s. So that's why by the end of 80s, exactly in 1988, the National Assembly proposed or tell to the agricultural ministry to prepare a program for the development of the biological control in Cuba in big extension. So it was done in 3 years, and we construct more than 200 small centers of production in state enterprises and cooperative production too. So this is a case study, it's Cuba in the center, is in Cuba. And this is the organization, all of this was organized starting from our plant protection system. We have a plant protection system organized in this way since 1974. We have this, it's a mixture of Spanish and English because I don't have time to change many things. This is a National Center of Plant Protection. SESB is plant health, more or less, plant protection. But we have nationally an institute for research in plant protection. And they are who preserve and take care of all the strain we produce in the country. With that section, some universities, some institute has their own and some enterprise, their own strain are produced little quantity. But the big production that is in all the country is the strain are given by the institute to the provincial lab, this lab PROSAF. In each province we have now 16 have a provincial lab of plant protection. We receive from the Havana the strain. Sometimes they have problem in Havana, and we have to do the work, and we always use no more than 2 or 3 passages, I don't know how to say, through artificial media. We try to keep always to pass again for the host. To keep virulence, because we had the experience at the beginning that a strain from France that we bring to Cuba about 5 years after production in different provinces, because I do myself the test, lost more than 50% of virulence against the banana black weevil. So it is important to take care about that, and there is a group in Havana that should work about that. But sometimes they have problems and we have to help, no? And this center, La PROSAF, gave to the CRE means reproduction center of entomophags and entomopathogen. Really, it should not be entomopathogen because we produce also antagonists, no? But these centers and the pesticide plant or the biopesticide plants receive from the lab, the provincial lab, the strain to produce. They control themselves the quality, the quality of the production, but at the same, these labs have control 10% more or less of the production of them, because this production is mainly to be used in the place where it is produced, or in the province. Sometimes we sell, for example, to other provinces, but normally it's to be used there. So they have to take the care about that, because many of them use the product that they produce. Like we have, for example, a big enterprise that produce rice in our provinces, and more than 10,000 hectares, and they produce the meta-rhizome they need. And in 3 years, we eliminate the use of carbofuran, that is too extremely toxic, introducing meta-rhizome to control of this insect I told you, the aquatic weevil, rice weevil. So now, if really this information is from 2010, we had in 2010 180 centers of this, correct? In the Agricultural Ministry, and 84 in Minas. Minas is the Ministry of Sugar. Now do not exist. In the reorganization in the country is a big enterprise, but they do not exist as a ministry, but they have 84 centers to produce for the needs of this production of sugarcane mainly. And 4 plants. The plan for plants were 24, but we didn't have money at that time, and only 4 were contracted. The fungus biopesticide we produce yet, with the exception another more than are producing in small quantity. We produce Bovaria bassiana, several strains, Meta-rhizome anisopleae, Lecanicilium lecani, and Trichoderma harsiana, different strains too. And most of the production is artisanal production in discrete. And the other in the plant. This is to take an idea of the reduction of the use of pesticide in Cuba. No? How first we have a very big reduction after the plant protection system was created in 1974, because we began to use mainly the insecticide monitoring the pest. Before it wasn't a scheduling, it was every week. No, a plant you have to apply this week, and the other week the other pesticides. After we introduced monitoring pests in 1974, the reduction was very big, and we are using now about 25% of the pesticide we use at the beginning of this period. Of course, we have the influence of the bad economical situation that we are obliged to reduce also the importation of pesticide, or chemical pesticide. But at the same time, we increase the use of biocontrol in general, and Tomofax also, or two, during this year. Since 1988, that was when we began this last period of development biocontrol in Cuba. Well, we are going to go to Santi Spiritus. Santi Spiritus is a central province of Cuba, and the city of Santi Spiritus is about the center of the province too. I like to live in the sea, but never, always in the center. And this is the city of Santi Spiritus. And near the Santi Spiritus, about 5 kilometers from the center, is a center where part of the students are going to be, and I am talking about why we were doing that. It's about here. This is the center. This center was constructed by the 95. Here we have is a energetic, we call energetic area, I don't know. It's where we produce we compress the air to be sent to an aerial wrap here. We have what is Deborah? Oven, no? To produce the steam for the sterilization. We have an electricity plant if there is a blackout to use. Here we have a small construction of 2 floors where we have 3 fermenters of 500 liters of useful capacity, and where we produce BT and produce inoculum to produce the fungus. This other area is for incubation room, microbiology, other areas office, other area to produce trichogramma, etc. For insect breeding, as Podoptera, etc. And here is the lab lab, is the provincial lab, the direction of plant protection system in the province, etc. Deborah knows, and the other student. How we produce there? Because Deborah is almost to say, stop. We established a pure culture of the fungus. This is trichoderma, I think, no? It's trichoderma. In the way I explained you, no? So the Havana, the Institute sent, we produce in the lab, etc. And this is a very old shaker, done in Cuba many years ago, but work yet, to produce the first step of this biphasic production liquid solid. So we produce in two Erlenmeyer of 2 liters, 25% of liquids. It's about 500 milliliters of the media. We produce the first stage of the production of the inoculum. It depends. Each fungus has the media optimized for the needs. So you cannot use the trichoderma media for the other because it don't work. So it is optimized for each one. And the composition is not difficult to suppose that we are going to use something about sugar cane. We use molasses, molasses. We use torula yeast that is produced from sugar cane too, and other salts. Sometimes it depends on the fungus we are going to use. And normally the time here is about 48 hours, sometimes 72, depend of the fungus, and the temperature should be according to the fungus. Verticillium need lower temperature. It is impossible to develop. This is a very handmade to prepare the media for the fermenter, because it is necessary to dissolve, to suspend all the media, because the granule, that big granule, could not be allowed to sterilize well the media in the fermenter. So it should be, and not always the torula yeast is in good condition. I don't have a photo of the full fermenter. I have part of the upper part of that, but this is the upper part, no, of the fermenter. This is the stainless steel equipment used for sterile inoculation by air difference of pressure. The liquid from the media, the liquid inoculum produced in the shaker is transferred to here, and by a difference of pressure we introduce in the fermenter. This is a very handmade preparation of the solid substrate. At the beginning we use barley from the Soviet Union, of course, but we don't have barley. Now we don't produce. So we use now the pieces of rice, no? The grain rice, the interior for the people, the other pieces of rice mixture with husk. In this case, mainly for trichoderma. The husk allow the oxygenation of the mass of the media, and it is enough for trichoderma. And sometimes we have to do the same for Boveria, because there is, as these are small grain, no Theo-benth rice like the French people use. There is Necol jamais, no? There is a space enough. Our small pieces of grain need something to allow the air to enter, or I will show you, to move during process. So we use, or we sterilize directly in this container that come with the autoclave when we bought them maybe 20 or 30 years ago. And this container, a small container, plastic container, will let open during sterilization autoclave to allow the steam to enter, no? Because if not, the sterilization is not good. And here we put an stainless steel tube from the fermenter to the inoculation room, no? You see, it was not painted at that time. It was when I do, no? Yes, it's a Cuban way, no? through the roof, no? Come from the plant, enter through the exactly and have it enter through the wall and go out, because we connect first a hose and we put 30 minutes of steam to sterilize the line, no? To sterilize the line. After we put the fungus and the first 2 liters out, no? The following day you will see green completely the soil, because it is green because it's sporulate to the other day. I will show you some of this. And here, yes, we fill this flask, a sterile flask, with the inoculum. We sell this inoculum to other centers that are near us. And in our provinces, they have a dependency of this center, because we produce for them and for us. But it's easy that to produce in agar, no? It's easy to an important thing. I never use blastopore or any other structure. We wait only for the production of mycelia. A very important mass of mycelia. Of course, it has a process of quality control during all the time, because it should not be contaminated. But normally we don't have problem with contamination except one time, because of the problem with the tube that was not well cleaned before or after a process. When we began again, it was not enough with the 30 minutes and was contaminated all the production. Only one time that I know up to now. So they fill this flask, and after they have to measure with it. Of course, all of this process could be improved. It's easy to put the dispenser and but we don't have. And we transfer the solid media to the plastic bag, and we add the quantity necessary. It's about 1/3 of the volume of the inoculum is about 1/3 of the solid inoculum, or the solid media. And after this is I don't know what this is. We seal the bag, and we put for the in the room, the culture room, they make the homogenization of this liquid and solid medium. This is what happened if you let, in the case of trichoderma, liquid. For example, in the hepatitis disease, it's the same. In the soil, is faster. Well, we do more or less that everybody do. Everybody does. And we have different alternatives. Sometimes the people use this bag. These bags are not autoclavable. It's polyethylene. We buy new and we use for this after we discard. Sometimes it is used directly. This is small container of about 200 grams, or small bags of 400 grams. And in the case, mostly in the case of Bovaria and Metarhizium, that works very well too with this technology. By the 3rd to 4 days, 2 people enter to move, no? Because it's completely compact because of the mycelia. To break this mycelia, to allow the air to enter, to be able to produce conidia in all the mass of the media, not only the surface. Because if not, it will be like an insect produced out of the insect, but not inside. See, it is after you have to open the bags, no? And to let dry, We normally decided to harvest when the humidity is about 12%. And these people are harvesting all the, in this case, it's trichoderma. Normally we sell the trichoderma this way, with the husk up to the farmer. And the farmer prepare a suspension filter and apply and spray this. But in Matanzas, there is a new plant where there is an equipment for a half a ton daily capacity of production of processing 500 kilograms of fungus. was contracted with China. And they have, of course, equipment to prepare the formulation, to mix the different components to keep the concentration at the same level. The quality control, during all this process, you have to be controlling the quality. And at the end, the concentration of conidia, the viability of conidia, but when you have it is stored, you have to take care, because in the case of metatherizum, by 15 or 10 days or 1 month, it could be at 20% the viability of the conidia. In the case of trichoderma, no, trichoderma and Bovaria, the viability could be, though at a room temperature, good up to 3 months probably. But sometimes in our condition we have mite that attack the fungus and destroy. When you will see what you have is mite. No. So, but normally we are not able to produce all what we need. So normally all of this is sold in short period of time. The quality control includes all of this: the concentration that each batch has, the viability. And in the case of trichoderma, is the antagonist test with some phytopathogen fungus. And in the case of the entomopathogen, we do some tests. At the beginning, we have the reading of the insect, but the fungus are everywhere when you produce it. And the reading was killed too. So normally we use more pheromone traps to catch one of these weevils, is the sweet potato weevils, and to bring insect from the field to test on them. This is the final product of Matanza, where they prepare formulated. No, it's a powder, and this is the pretty plant of Matanzas. But we'll produce more than them. No, it's smaller. Because it's pretty, but the people of this don't know well how to produce. I don't know now, no, but they have problems yet. Though we introduced this technology there, but the people were new. You have to be old to begin to know how to produce well. And here I have for you to see who won the presentation, all the steps more or less of the test for the production, the quality control, etc., etc. That's right. Deborah, how many minutes?
You're very good.
Thank you.